can share.
Yes, please do, Caitlin.
So here in Plano, we have a monthly recurring entrepreneurship group, and it's going on, I think this is its third year, kind of crazy. But we're hosting our first like big networking reception for it, and we're really excited. We've heard a lot of people say that they're coming, including some local organizations. And we had our first attendee who's been coming since the very beginning open her brick and mortar shop last month. So we're really excited to have a few success stories popping up.
Super
So,
cool. What kind
yeah,
of business does she have or they have?
it's a pie bakery. So she opened it. It's called the Pie Dish in McKinney, Texas, and she has wonderful, wonderful pies if you ever happen to come through.
Awesome. Maybe that's a reason to come through. Cool.
There you go. Thanks.
Anybody else have announcements or updates they want to share? Okay, well, I have a couple of announcements before we turn it over to Ciera. Um, First of all, hi everyone, Happy New Year. Nice to see all of you. This is the Libraries Build Business Community Discussion for January. Today we have Ciera Williams from the Durham County Public Library here to be our featured speaker and talk to us about creative programming ideas for business librarians. And she will be sharing some updates from Durham, from what they've been working on in Durham as well. If anyone is interested in being a featured speaker in a future meeting, please let me know. We've got the next couple of months already planned out. So if you're part of our, if you're on the meeting invite already, you can see who's coming up in February and March, but definitely reach out. It's always fun to hear from people. So let me know if you're interested in that opportunity. We have a YouTube page where we post all of the recordings. I'm going to drop that in the chat just so if you've ever wanted to go back and look at past meetings and hear from the featured speakers, you can check out the YouTube page, and we'll post this meeting there as well and all going forward. It's an unlisted YouTube page, so you can't search for it, but if you are given the link, you can find all of the videos there. Not so LibLearnX, ALA's LibLearnX is coming up next weekend. If anyone is planning to be there, send me a note. I'd love to meet up with you there. I will be there for the weekend. It's in Baltimore. Carly, are you going to be there? I'd love to see you. Carly says, yay. Yeah, so if anyone else is going to be there and wants to have lunch or something, send me a note. It would be great to connect with people. Oh, Dorothy will be there too. Oh, great. Yeah, so Dorothy and Carly and I maybe can get together. That would be fun. Okay, well, that's all the announcements I have. One last shot for anybody else that wants to share anything before I turn it over to Ciera.
Megan, I could just say really briefly, I've mentioned before, we previously have done a big thing around Small Business Saturday. And last year we made the decision to pivot away from that because engagement and participation was really dwindling. We had 0 questions about the fact that we didn't do it this year. So I think we made the right call. We are planning to do some things around our local businesses in May for National Small Business Month, which is a Chamber of Commerce thing. So we're working with businesses in those same 4 communities to offer some collaborative programming. We're also going to do a little prize drawing event around the entry form is going to be simple, like tell us your favorite local business and why, and then we'll draw prizes from that, but also share that feedback that we get from the entry forms with the local businesses. And we're going to do a couple of video, shoot a couple of video kind of commercials in some of the local businesses to kind of shine a light on those folks. And then we're working with our SCORE chapter to offer some specific webinars on training topics that the local business groups are interested in, and it'll be kind of a value added thing just for the small businesses. It won't be for the general public. So we're excited about that, and we're hoping we'll get a different kind of engagement since it's a different kind of year and not when people are already doing 9 million things Thanksgiving weekend. So I'll keep everybody posted.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely keep us posted, and thanks for that update. Caitlin says they also love their SCORE partners.
SCORE is the best.
Anybody else? Hey, Rosalind, you snuck in here. Good to see you. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ciera. Take it away. Thanks again so much.
Thank you. All right, so I want to share my screen. Boop, boop, boop. I'm gonna move this up here. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? Yes, okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and present. All right. Thank you everyone for coming today to Libraries Builds Business in our January meeting. And again, I'm Ciera Williams, the Business Services Manager at Durham County Library. And today we're going to talk about creative programming for BizLibs. So I'm going to go through a quick introduction about who we are at Durham County Library, resources and partnerships, what your skill set is, and signature offerings that we offer, and getting to know your patrons. This is all going to be about programming that we have done in the past and programming that we have done that are free to low cost, large programming, and more ideas for you to take to your library location as well. So first off, our Small Business Center at Durham County Library is on the fourth floor. We offer free workforce development and business information services, programs, and resources, and a dedicated co-working space and a dedicated small business office or study room, meeting room for our small business owners. All of those things help us be creative because they're so broad in statements, and we always collect information from our thriving community partners and our patrons to learn what types of programming that they would like to have. So first off, when you're thinking about creative programming ideas, know your budget, know how much you have to spend for your program, how much materials and things are going to cost. Do you have a community partner who can help with the budget? Know your focus. Is it based on entrepreneurship? Is it based on workforce development? Is it geared towards how to do things? Or is it a business representing something that they are really good at? Know your partner organizations. We also super duper love SCORE over here, and know your resources and know your capacity because you don't want to overwork yourself. So partnerships in your city. Everyone should have a local small business administration. We've done a few things with our local SBA, our city county offices. We've worked with our Office of Economic and Workforce Development. We've worked with SCORE. We've worked with other library locations and small business centers nearby that are not a part of the library. They could be a part of a community college or a larger university. If you hop on Eventbrite, you'll find other businesses and other business type events, and that will help you find more people in the business sector in your city and lead you to making those connections. Artists and art councils are our favorite entrepreneurs overall, and small business owners and entrepreneurs around your library location and in your city in general. Banks that offer funding resources and funding workshops, and working with schools because kids are entrepreneurs as well. And you want to make sure that you keep interacting with all of these different places and continuing to see what does your entrepreneur community want to hear from your library? What can you offer? And in the corner here, we have Stoop Stories. Reese Palmer is a local favorite. She's a Grammy-nominated artist, country music legend here in Durham, and we interviewed her and a few more people for a passive program, which is Stoop Stories, and it's a YouTube series that talks about what they have done. And we call it sharing stories of people who've been there and done that. And that helps local entrepreneurs who would like to be a country music legend know of the pitfalls and obstacles and ways that Reese was able to overcome them and be a success in her city. So having open conversations with rising entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who are experts in the field is also another great program idea. And we like to keep those conversations going through lots and lots of networking. Also, I cannot see the chat. Let me move this out the way. I can't remember. Oh, okay, good. Making sure I didn't miss any questions. So networking, again, is the best way to find people and host workshops and collaborate on programs with, as long as you're being consistent with everyone in your community and the patrons that come see you. This is a photo of Nefertiria. She's one of our frequent users of our Small Business Center. And she came up to the desk and asked, do you have networking events at the library? And we said, well, sometimes we do, but we would like to host more. And she said, oh, that's my expertise. And she offered to host them for free. So just having that type of interaction and staying with her and being able to set up a meeting room, do some advertising. And we had local entrepreneurs come together to meet up with Nefertiria, and she just did her thing. So hands off, free, and lots of fun for our patrons. Oh, my mouse stopped working. Another cool program idea we had was planning and organizing with Planned and Prosper. That is a local planner company here. We have Business Resource Roundtable with SCORE. SCORE comes in sometimes to do one-on-one interactions for us, but they also host their own webinars for free that we advertise for people. They have a full calendar of events, and we just add them into our calendar as well. We also had a partnership with Durham Tech and their SBTD Center, where we partner with local business coaches and that community college for offering a webinar series for e-commerce and entrepreneurs. That was really helpful. It was about a few weeks from April through June, and patrons were able to learn how to start their e-commerce business, how to profit from it, set it up, and so many more things. And we offered lunch. Sometimes offering food brings people in as well, if you have the budget for it. All right, so thinking about more free to low cost programs is thinking about what skills are you good at. Here, we try not to overthink it, because if you are an expert or even a semi-expert in something, you can turn that into a library program. That includes if you are really good at using Data Axle, Social Explorer, or even the Candid Foundation Directory, any type of library database. Patrons want to learn about the resources that your library offers, but they don't know how to use these things. So giving them a workshop that says, this is how you conduct market research by using this database, or you have access to answering the questions that you do have by using this database. Sometimes you don't always have enough time on the desk, and we always take those questions, record them on the desk, and turn them into a workshop later. If you're really good at social media and you love being creative, that's another program, teaching patrons how to use Canva 101. That was super popular when we had it in December, and we had to offer it twice so far this year, because Canva is really, really rising, and people are learning more and more that you can do so much with that program. You can conduct live interviews and virtual interviews and post them on your library's YouTube page if you have one, or social media page. There's social media in your business if you know how to market that to the right community. And you can also be creative in building business plans with using certain graphics to help those entrepreneurs create a story for their business. If you are an entrepreneur or have someone on staff who's been an entrepreneur. They can also help with simple everyday questions of how do I get started. That also includes forms, right? Everybody knows that there is a form they have to fill out. There is something they need to fill out for taxes, something they need to fill out for the state, something they need to fill out for X, Y, and Z permit. And no one knows where to get these forms, how to fill those forms out. Forms has been a really, really big thing. And just having a workshop or someone on hand who can answer those questions for patrons is really helpful. If you're really good in tech and maker spaces or any everyday crafty things, building prototypes is a cool program we've been thinking about. We are fortunate to have our own maker spaces, but if you don't, you can still do pitch competitions and have entrepreneurs thinking creatively on how they can hone their craft and pitch it to an audience, which could simply just be your library staff. If you're really into AI right now, you can talk about that for local business owners. And you can honestly go big with these programs or as small with these programs as you like. One really cool large program we've had is Library Fest. It's our absolute favorite every single year. We work with local entrepreneurs around Durham. So in 2022, Library Fest, our theme was food. It was the food edition. And every year it celebrates libraries, it celebrates library staff, it celebrates all that we do in libraries. And we're encouraging more and more people to come back to the library because we are more than what people think we are. And collaborating with local businesses, we had 10 small business collaboration where we went to their business and asked, do you want to be a part of Library Fest this year? They would create a literary menu themed item, put it on their menu, sell it for however much they want to sell it for. And we only collect how many items they sold and how much revenue they generated. That's it. And it was a lot of fun because we had a menu full of different menu items related to books that restaurant owners have made or just their favorite memory of the library. We also had local authors come in and talk about the classic restaurants of Durham and how we're such a huge foodie scene now. We've had local businesses such as kombucha come in and show how to make kombucha if you do want to start your own kombucha business. And it just prospers so many more ideas for us. And then last year, we doubled that number. We had 20 small businesses. They sold over 340 items and generated at least $2,000 in revenue. That was a lot of fun. We get rave reviews from all of our small business owners. These pictures show 2 of those literary menu items. The theme was storytelling. On the left, I know this one, it's from a bakery, and she made this crepe cake based off of the book with the storybook with the girl with the stripes, the rainbow stripes, and she was sick. What is that book called? I forgot. But that's the book that she was inspired by to create that menu item. We had Everloo as well, and they made a Ferdinand latte. Everloo is one of our favorite coffee shops nearby, and that helped us generate more people to go to Everloo coffee shop. But it also, we've made so many connections. Our library staff goes there often, and they come over here to the Small Business Center, and they didn't know we had all of these cool workshops because they needed help revamping their business plan. And just consistently communicating with them and checking in with them has helped build that relationship. Whew, okay, any questions so far? We're still going. I don't see the chat. Oh, thanks, Caitlin. Thank you. A Bad Case of Stripes. That was the book. I couldn't see it. Little Wave Coffee Roasters is also a favorite. We love them so much. And continuing to speak with small businesses in your area and always tell people about your library. We had a ULC meeting and I know most of you know Shamichael. He asked, what is like your superpower? And I realized that my superpower is always referring back to the library and having different conversations and letting people know what we do, who we are, and having them come in. Like, what do you need? Come in, we can help you. One of those conversations was going to see the mayor and just say, hi, we're the Small Business Center. This is what we do. We just wanted you to know that we exist. And that generated the Bull City Business Summit. That was a huge summit that we had in the fall. She wanted to do a 2-day summit geared towards justice involved and those with accessibility issues and those who are elderly. And we said, oh, we know different groups. We've worked with them before. We can bring them in. We can have keynote speakers. We can have lunch. We can do this. And, oh, excuse me, knowing those resources already helped us work together to create this huge successful summit. It was 2 days. We had over 200 people, and we coordinated with the mayor's office, Durham Tech Community College, our Durham Business Collaboration meeting, the city of Durham, and more local entrepreneurs who just wanted to show up and tell their story. That was so much fun. So keep telling people about your library and keep encouraging people to come in. Reese Palmer, that I talked about a few slides back, she came back and said that they made a movie, and local film director Dilsey Davis wanted to showcase a premiere, and it was PBS NC's American Masters in the Making featuring Reese Palmer. And we pulled that event together in 1 week, but we had at least 175 people come in to watch this film screening and support Reese Palmer. And I was able to facilitate a quick Q&A between her and the film director on how they made it. And that was a lot of fun. So branching out with your programming ideas and remembering to include local artists and local creatives, because they are working hard every day to hone their craft as well. And that leads me to Riot Space. Riot Space is actually a local artist, Majesty, who came to the library and said, I want to do something. I want to create this huge thing and put on a performance and hang up some mirrors and do an installation. And they just wanted to do it and showcase their story of being Black and queer and creative in Durham. And we had no idea how they were going to do it. It wasn't on us. And they took the time to work with our IT department, work with our STEAM department, and work with our adult services department and our small business center to create this amazing 3-part series and installation and performance for the community. A lot of people showed up. It was about 20 people per day for those performances, and it was a huge success. We were so proud of them. And just a quick note, we spent no money on all of these performances simply because our community came to us asking to use our space, asking to use our resources, and asking us to simply give them a chance to showcase what they want to showcase to everyone. And I'm gonna leave y'all with just getting to know your patrons. Once again, when you're at the desk, when you're shelving, when you're in the stacks, when you're networking, when you're out in the community, ask questions. Ask during that reference interview, what do they want to see? What types of programs, or what do they need help with? And you can hone those questions into programs. Getting feedback, I'll be honest, we do not have lots of paper surveys when we do our events, but we do speak to everyone and we'll note it really quickly. So-and-so said they love this, or we need to work on that. And someone said, this was a good thing, this is a bad thing. And having quick 2, 3, no more than 5 question point survey for everyone. That way they can get it done quickly. You get to the point of what needs to change and what doesn't, and what was good, what was bad, and you're able to be consistent with your audience. You're able to be consistent with your community, be consistent. If someone says they came back and they worked on that business plan you gave them, just be like, oh, that is so great. I'm happy I was able to help, and being consistent in knowing, how did that website go? How did that marketing tactic go? How did your idea go with the new hiring practices? And that lets the community know that you do care and you're here for them. but that you're paying attention and you're listening, and everything's going to be all right. And lastly, I'm going to leave y'all a semi-long list of free to low cost programs that I mentioned. These are two local authors who wrote two amazing entrepreneurial type books where we've had story times and crafts. We've also worked with Girl Scouts and helping them gain their entrepreneurship badge. And there's so much you can do for all ages and all types of groups. And if y'all have any questions about anything, I can answer them now. And you can reach me here. You can reach my team at that number and email, and follow us on Instagram. We're pretty cool there. Thank you. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Ciera. That's so cool to hear about. I've been wanting to hear about Library Fest, so that's super awesome.
This year is the nature theme. We're so excited. We want all of the live animals. I'm doing the nature of podcasting. You can just take it anywhere. So we're really excited about this year's theme. Yes, we have worked with the Chamber of Commerce, and they are also a part of our business collaboration call. So we promote each other's programs. If Durham Tech Small Business Center is doing something, they send a flyer out, we post it. At the Chamber of Commerce, they have their annual Black Business Gala coming up in February, and they'll share that out and we'll share it out. And we always tell them if they need us to be out of their events to administer library cards, we're doing that. And we're also giving out information of programs and services that we do offer. And that helps keep us in the loop of all the happenings in Durham. Thank you, Betty. Thanks, y'all. I always say this is my most creative job yet, so I'm having a lot of fun.
Anybody else have questions for Ciera?
Carly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just clapping for you.
Oh, thank you.
I have questions about Library Fest.
Yeah.
So let me make sure I got it straight. So you went to local restaurants and said, create a literary themed menu item and sell it. Is this like for National Library Week?
Sometimes it's during National Library Week. Sometimes it's just in the month of April. Like this year, it's the first week in April. So it depends. But we always say, do you want to help us celebrate libraries? And by creating a literary menu item, sometimes they have it for that week. Sometimes they're able to sell that item for the whole month. It depends on the business and what their preference is. And we also give them enamel pins of the Library Fest logo to give out free to the first 10 items bought or something like that. And they have a lot of fun promoting it, and they love seeing other businesses and what they're doing as well. And sometimes people are just hopping around to different restaurants and having a lot of fun with it. So yeah. And we always emphasize that.
It's just restaurants.
This last year we tried to do more than restaurants. We worked with the bookstore, but instead of so they sold books of our keynote speakers that we had last year. And we also hosted a nighttime pajama story time at their bookstore because they didn't have that many people doing story time. So now we try to check back in as often as we can, and we'll pop up and say, do you want us to do it again? And we'll do it again. Sometimes it's all about working with that type of business if it's not a restaurant or a bar. We have so many breweries and they get really creative as well.
What kind of lead time do the businesses need to make their menu items?
Not much. They're usually able to just slide it in. We'll give them really our name. If they want our logo, they can use our logo, but they'll post it because Everly Coffee is a great example. They have different menus every season, or they'll have like a special item and they literally just write it or print it out. And that's it. And people are like, ooh, I want to try that. And they'll sell it. It's
Oh,
we
okay.
try to make it as easy as possible and try to tell them, don't overthink it. It can be something you already sell or something seasonal, and just change the name for it. But you're just promoting this book, you're promoting the library, and we're
Mhm.
not asking you for money. All of it goes towards your business, and it's all through you. And we try to give them as much creative direction as possible.
Okay.
Did that
And
answer it?
so, yeah, that it does.
Okay,
No, I'm totally stealing this idea. Thank you.
do it. Even,
And
or like a
do
bar
other things happen
crawl.
at Library Fest? I mean, is this part of a whole big slate of activities, or it's just
Yes, so
about
the
stuff?
entire week of Library Fest, we have different programs geared towards that theme.
Okay.
And we have, last year we had Jagetto, he's a puppeteer who went around to each library branch and did a cool puppet show. We've had keynote speakers talk about food and their art and their books that they wrote. We've had local authors, big name authors. We've had activities and crafts and interactive theater times and just so many things based around whatever the theme is. I'm really excited about nature. You can do anything, climate change,
Oh
animals.
yeah, you can do anything with that.
So much with nature. So we're gonna, I'll send y'all the program when we get it finalized.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Okay.
Sorry, I had a question. Now, you're in Durham and Duke's in Durham, and I don't know if you're 5 minutes away or an hour and a half away, but I just was wondering, is there ever have you ever thought about doing some kind of a collaboration with the business, their business, the Fuqua Business School Library?
Yes. We have spoke. That's another thing when you're collaborating with people, you also have to stay consistent with emails and getting back to each other. And we're all busy, things happen. We haven't had a full event yet, but we have worked with Duke Startup Ventures Law Clinic, and they are able to host different sessions where they pop up and have a legal clinic for business owners who have those questions about HR and questions about tax things that they completely got in trouble with, or something dealing with the law in their business. When it comes to the business school, we've talked about not entrepreneurship, internships and different field study experiences for their students. So we're still working those out, but those conversations have started and we're continuing them. Great questions, y'all. Any more? Okay. Well, feel free to reach out if you do have a question that comes later.
Thank you so much, Ciera. Yeah, that was so inspiring. Just like a lot of really, really good ideas. And so yeah, we hope to hear about how Library Fest goes this year and what else you guys are up to. 'Cause, yeah, very, very cool stuff.
Thank
Well,
you.
oh, did someone say something? Oh, we still have time, but if nobody else has anything they want to share, any questions, we can definitely end. I'm going to put our exit ticket in the chat. This is just a 30-second exit ticket to give some feedback on these sessions and any suggestions you have for future meetings. Christina, we upload the recording to our YouTube channel and also to our Slack page. So here is where you can find it on YouTube. We'll probably have that up tomorrow. And if you're not on our Slack, I can invite, I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning, but we also, we have a Slack discussion board, and everyone's invited to join that as well. We post information about the meetings as well as the recordings, and anyone's welcome to ask questions of one another or share pictures or anything from their programs. That Slack link there should let you sign up. So let me know if anyone has problems. Yeah, unless the floor is open, if anyone else wants to say anything, but otherwise, feel free to drop off. Thanks everyone for being here. Good to see you and hope to see you again in February. I will leave the line open just in case anyone wants to chat with me. But otherwise, yeah, have a great afternoon. And thank you so much, Ciera. This was wonderful.
Thank you. I'll stay behind in case y'all do have a question for me as well.
Thank you all. See you.
Thanks, Stacey.
Thank you again.
Thank you.